Man, 2 days away until this Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct. It's literally the week of excitement. Days away, less now than 2 days. Oh my goodness, guys, we are finally almost there. Now, for the last 2 videos I made a what to expect video, which is just kind of going over the facts and what we will probably see. And then I made a proper prediction video, just kind of diving into each and every single game and thing that they'll talk about with the console and breaking it down to specifics. But for today's video, I'm going to bring it back to what I want to see. And this is more of a fun, lighthearted video of the specific things that would make me extremely happy as a Nintendo fan to see and what I really want to have happen. So think of this as like my most high anticipated wishes for this Switch 2 Direct. Of course, before I dive into my wishes, one of the last questions of the day. Today's comment comes from Mayel Tarian and states, do you think a new teaser for a big 3D Zelda game is possible? And if so, what are your expectations? Now, a lot of you guys might start by saying absolutely no way. Tears of the Kingdom came out not even 2 years ago, at the beginning of 2023. There's no possible way we are going to see the new Zelda game yet. And you know what? That very well could be the case, but I think there's a chance that they could give us an extremely early look. They are no strangers, and by they, I mean Aonuma and the Zelda team, are absolutely no strangers when it comes to showing us the game earlier. They showed us Tears of the Kingdom super early. It was like in the E3 Direct of 2019. This was only a little bit over 2 years since Breath of the Wild, so it was really quick. A lot of people were shocked by this, and not to mention the game wouldn't even release until 4 years later in 2023. So it is extremely possible that Nintendo could just say, hey, here's a glimpse, or they just show maybe screenshot of early development, maybe just giving us a sneak peek at where the world's going to be, or just showing us some concept art of Link in this new game or something like that. Something just to generate some hype for the future. They don't want to put all their eggs in one basket here. They want to spread them out. So having a 3D Mario, Mario Kart, and Zelda shown off in one presentation seems like a lot. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say no. If there's going to be Zelda anything in this presentation, I think it's just going to be a remake or a remaster of some sorts, or maybe Breath of the Wild again in 4K, like some of the rumors suggested. But I do not think we see a glimpse of the next Zelda game. If we do, it's going to be something extremely small. With that, guys, we're only going to have one question left. So make it a really good end of Switch 1 era, beginning of Switch 2 era hype comment. The best one will get chosen to end off this hype quest that we've been on. Make sure you comment the word hype in all caps, followed by your final Switch 2 hype comment. So normally with these type of videos, I start with the hardware, but I'm going to do it kind of flip this time around, because for my wishes, I'm more excited for the software, you know, miles more excited for the software than I am hardware. So this is what's more important to me. So I want to start with games. So I'll be going through my absolute specifics of what everything that could happen. If it happens, it would make me so excited for this show. Now, I'm going to say straight up, I will be so content just with a good 3D Mario and Mario Kart, and I can go home happy. But still, I have a lot of expectations. So let's start off with, of course, 3D Mario. It has to be there, and I need it to be open world. I'm sorry, if it is some type of, you know, second installment of something like Odyssey 2 or maybe even Galaxy 3, I know a lot of people have been asking for that, and I see a lot of people putting that down in predictions. I don't want that. I want a completely new Mario game that pulls from what Bowser's Fury was able to do, but on a larger scale. I do think it's time to see Mario in an open world. And if I go a little bit further, let's go to what else I would want to see with that Mario game. Small platforming challenges or shrine-like challenges like we had with Breath of the Wild, but Mario doing platforming challenges in like these little sub-worlds would be really cool, kind of along the lines of like Mario Sunshine going to those platforming challenge levels, and there was a couple in Odyssey. Something like that would be really cool. I'd hope to see something like that. Plus, I want to see Mario fighting like really unique overworld boss fights. Maybe there's like these just bosses that roam the overworld, but unique, fun ways to take them down instead of Mario just throwing something at them or jumping on their head. Like, I want to see them come up with some really unique stuff, and just to make me say, wow, I never would have expected this. Next up, Mario Kart 9. I hope it has a fun single-player story mode. That's probably my biggest wish from that game. It could have so many cool tracks and characters and stuff, but my biggest thing is seeing something that single players can do, because that's the worst part is, yeah, you have fun racing with your friends and stuff or racing with others online, but I want something else to do, something like to collect and something to just play by myself. So I'm hoping there is some single player mode. It could just be a mission mode returning from DS, but I really want a fun single player story mode that's kind of maybe even like a little open world you can drive around in to get from stage to race for these missions, something like Diddy Kong Racing exactly. So something like that would be awesome. But to go a little bit further, I would like to see at least one or some really unique racers, like characters that we really never expected to appear in Mario Kart, whether they be like pulled from the RPG games, another spin-off character, or just like a crazy wacky non-Mario franchise Nintendo character, or maybe even a non-Nintendo character. I know people are going to absolutely hate that. Personally, I think if they go with a non-Nintendo character, Pac-Man would be perfect. They already have this arcade collab with Mario Kart in the arcade, so I would love to see probably Pac-Man, or like Kirby would be probably one of my biggest like whoa characters that I would love to race as. As far as a unique gimmick goes, I would love to see every track have some type of unique gimmick. Like you collect an item like a wonder flower or something, and it flips and tricks and does some crazy things to the tracks, or maybe even the characters themselves, making every single track super duper unique. And like you're picking tracks now, not just for the track design and the layout, but also for that unique gimmick that that track offers. And I think that would be so cool. It would make like ranking the track so much more different now, because there's so much that you have to include into that ranking outside of just the track itself, you know, and the bends and the shortcuts and stuff like that. Like you also got to put in, you know, oh, in this track you turn into a 2D character and you go against a wall, or hey, in this track everything comes alive and the pipes and piranha plants start walking and moving and there's a parade going across the track. You know, stuff like that would be so awesome to be able to talk about. Something else that I really need to see is Prime 4 adds a new combat option, and something that's more than just shooting and dodging. And I know that's what Prime is about. It's what Primes 1 through 3 have always been. But this is Prime 4, and many years have passed, and I think it's time to evolve Samus's moveset a bit. We have games like Other M that shows how flexible and athletic Samus is, and I want to feel that in that first-person mode as well. I want to feel like athletic Samus, not stiff cyborg Samus. So I'm hoping she has more than just simple shooting and dodging to the left, right, and now I think it's more Omni this time around, actually being able to dash in, you know, back corner directions or forward directions. So I really hope that there's something else. Personally, I'm hoping for that melee counter that she's had in her recent 2D games like Samus Returns and also Metroid Dread. Something where you can just counter something back by flicking your arm or something would be so awesome, and it just makes so much sense. I would be shocked if that's not added. That's something that I really want to see personally, but I also hope that Prime just straight up gets a proper, exciting new trailer that shows just everything that's amazing about this game. No more little short, boring gameplay segments. Show us a high-intensity trailer. Show us Ridley, show us Dark Samus making a return, show explosions, booms, bangs, Samus doing crazy things that makes our jaws drop. Like, I know they're hiding exciting stuff, and they're probably waiting for this direct to show us those things, so I'm hoping for a proper trailer this time around that shows us everything that we need to see to get that hype to a maximum. Next up, I want it to be a new Nintendo game, but it's not Switch Sports, and it's not 1-2 Switch, and it's not something that's boring like 1-2 Switch. I'm hoping for a new type of Nintendo family game that can come alongside the Switch 2, or maybe shortly after its release that we can pick up and play. Something with like mini games, or something that references other Nintendo games. Personally, if I really want to dive into this thing, I would pop off unbelievably for a Nintendo Land 2. A proper game that's full of little mini games that reference, you know, different Nintendo IPs that you can play by yourself, or you can play with family or friends. I would love this, and I think Nintendo definitely needs some type of big multiplayer game. I know we have Mario Kart is probably going to be either a launch title or very, very shortly after the launch of Switch 2, but to have something like this would just be massive, like a big party game, and something like a Nintendo Land 2. Nintendo Land was one of the greatest games, I think, that came out on the Wii U, and I'm not just being biased because it's my name. I literally named myself because of that game. True story, that game is so good, and it helps to get people into new IPs from Nintendo that maybe they would have never tried before. So having like a little mini Xenoblade game or a Fire Emblem game, a Star Fox game, something like that could be really interesting to gauge how people feel about those mini games and how people will be interested into the actual game. But yeah, I'm praying for Nintendo Land 2, but I'll take anything that's unique, maybe something more. If they're going to do a Switch Sports, bring it towards that resort style, giving us a lot to do with a lot of content, and it's not just a cheap little cash grab that Switch Sports was, adding content years later that no one cares about, because why is basketball coming out 2 to 3 years later? This is what I'm talking about. But yeah, Nintendo Land 2, make it happen, Nintendo. I want to see a tease game. This is something that I really wish will happen, where they just give us some wild big game, but there's not much to it. It's just a tease, and maybe just a title, maybe just a generic title. Like, for instance, I would really want Smash Brothers to be teased. I think that's like my biggest thing right now, is if they just teased it. Just say Smash Brothers, no like subtitle, nothing at all, just Smash Brothers 2026. If they just do that, I think instantly it generates extreme hype for next year as well. It just, you know, who cares what else comes out next year? Smash Brothers is coming next year. Or maybe just kind of giving a hint that it's going to be a reboot. If they could just say Smash Brothers and then just say like rebooted, it may not be the subtitle. It'll have like quotation marks or something. Or like a new beginning for Smash Brothers. Something like that would be really cool. So if they show off anything, I hope to see the fact that it's a reboot, kind of like giving us a fresh new take on the characters, on the base roster and everything, cutting the roster down. And if they show anything at all, like if for some crazy reason there's actually a trailer, I hope they actually show Subspace or some type of Subspace-like story mode with cutscenes and like an action-adventure 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up type of thing like we had with Brawl, showing the characters interact with each other in cutscenes, talking with each other, fighting creatures and enemies and all kinds of crazy things, and there's a new big bad. Ooh, I would love that so much. So if Smash Brothers is just here at all, even if it's just teased, I will be content as could possibly be, just to have that, you know, clarification, because it's been a while since the end of 2018. So it's not bizarre to expect something from Smash Brothers to be teased here. I really hope it is. Next up, I wanted to make this broader and just say any type of old IP brought back, but no, I'm not. Daggone it, I'm saying it. Kid Icarus Uprising, or just Kid Icarus rather. Anything Kid Icarus, please, 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 Nintendo. I don't care how. Just bring Kid Icarus back. This would be a great way to start Switch 2 with a series that a lot of people might not be familiar with, but to show them how good it actually is, because so many people just don't know how good Kid Icarus is, because it only really appeared in modern times on the 3DS, outside of 2 classic games back then that a lot of people aren't going to care about. So please, I don't care if it's just a Kid Icarus Uprising complete remake from the ground up and it looks beautifully stunning, or if it's just a completely new game altogether. I mean, we know Sakurai is working on something. A lot of people think it's Smash Brothers, but what if it's not Smash at all? What if that has its own dedicated team now, which we heard it did? What if Sakurai is indeed working on a brand new from the ground up story and worlds for Kid Icarus? I would just die happy. I mean, seriously, that just sounds like a dream come true to the max. I love me some 3D Mario, but you guys just don't understand how good Kid Icarus Uprising was. And seeing this game revived with a new title in the series following Kid Icarus Uprising and on Switch 2, announced at the Switch 2 Nintendo Direct with some of the other big titles, would just make me so happy for this series. So I'm praying that this actually happens. It would be one of my biggest pop-offs, believe it or not. One of my last personal wishes that would really just get me is Luigi's Mansion 4. I think Luigi's Mansion 3 is one of the greatest Nintendo games out there of recent years. I think it's one of the best on Switch. I think it's one of the most beautiful games Nintendo has ever made, even though it's technically, you know, a lot of next level games. I think it really just took advantage of every bit of the hardware of Switch 1. I can't wait to see what Switch 2 is going to do for this series. Luigi's Mansion 3 sold so extremely well, and it makes me so happy to know that this is going to be a series mainstay. And I just really, really, really hope we see a glimpse, something of the next Luigi's Mansion game, showing us those graphics. I think it would be a perfect thing for the showcase, showing off how powerful Switch 2 is, and just showing how more ambitious they get with it. I don't have any specific predictions. I mean, after what they did with 3, bringing back Portrait or Boss Ghost this time around, I think they know what they're doing now. I just hope it's a little darker. Like, I would like to have a little bit of fear into it again, like the original game had, because 2 and 3 really have hardly any scary sections in the game at all. Just a little bit darker areas, a little bit more scary with certain situations and sections and creatures and, you know, ghosts. So besides that, I'll take anything they give us for Luigi's Mansion. I would be completely here for it. Now, as far as the console itself, I only have 3 wishes. And, you know, I know all the rumors of, you know, maybe even having DS games with a second screen, or maybe casting it onto a TV like a Wii U gamepad. All that stuff is fine, whatever. These are the 3 things I think that would really make me the most happy. Some type of social media app. We've been hearing rumors that they were like kind of revamping Miiverse into a new app called Vimeo, where it would simultaneously release with a smartphone app where pretty much you can have your own account. People can follow you. People can post your screenshots, videos, gameplay stuff, very much like Miiverse. This would be amazing, where you could actually follow people. You could have content creators where people can follow them on this instead of having to have a specific dedicated app like Twitter or TikTok or something like that on their phone. They can just use this built-in app into the system, which would just be perfect. It'd be regulated by Nintendo, so people can't spam, hate, or say certain things. Nintendo could regulate that and just block people that say that, or maybe even give them, you know, deal out some punishments and stuff if you're talking about people. It could actually be a clean, safe, fun app for once that we just really don't have out there right now. So that would be so awesome. But just like a proper social media made by Nintendo for Nintendo fans would be so perfect. The second thing, I want to completely rework eShop. The Switch eShop is just so freaking trash, man. It is genuinely one of the worst shops I've seen on a console ever. It is buggy. It feels like you're on this like old school library computer where like nothing's loading and you're like clicking and it's just not working correctly, and just everything moves just laggy and buggy. It's just a mess. There's no music. It's just like a dead store that you're just scrolling through. Everything in the store just is filled with junk. You had to like sort through and scroll through just to find the proper Nintendo titles you're looking for, or third-party titles you're looking for, where there's just so many like AI games and slop just thrown on there. I don't know how Nintendo allowed all of that. Hopefully this is all cleaned up and fixed with Switch 2. Like, not even hopefully. I know this is just a wish video, but this has to happen. Like, I don't know how they could go into Switch 2 with the same type of eShop. They have got to completely revamp this thing. Add some music, make it more fun and Nintendo feeling like you had with the Wii U eShop, and just organize everything, get rid of the slop, have nothing but Nintendo titles and major third-party titles, the stuff that people are actually looking for, not these little mobile game slop, $2 trash games that anyone can throw on the eShop. It's just stupid. Like, and why is it so laggy? Make it run better. It should be like a built-in integrated shop, not something that I feel like I'm searching the web for on my Switch. So yes, please rework the eShop, Nintendo. And the last thing that I want is, please, Nintendo, just let us have more customization. Let it be like the 3DS where we can customize everything. The folders, you know, we can change the colors, we can have Nintendo-themed backgrounds. I don't even care if we have to purchase them. Just give us some, or like maybe every time we buy a new game, it comes with a background, it comes with some type of new UI element that changes the widgets and everything on your dashboard. Would be so cool. So please, we had a themes section on the Switch and only had black and white. Give us lots and lots of themes. Let us make our Switches customizable. Please, Nintendo. And that's about it for my actual wishes and what I really want to see. I am super excited for this show. We literally just have under 2 days to wait. So make sure you leave a like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so that way you can be here. We are going to stream the thing starting probably pretty early. I might even start hours in advance just to prepare for this thing, and so I can talk with you guys, hang out with you guys and stuff. But definitely want to make sure you be here. It's going to be an exciting time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. Just 2 more days, guys. See ya.